Hello and welcome back to the technical guide to Factorio. Woo, 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 woo. So good. It's great. I love it. It's amazing. So this time we are pretty much going to spend all of our time working on producing batteries. In order to produce batteries, we first have to work on basic refining of oil and then getting an actual battery production line set up as we try to tech our way up to laser turrets. So without further ado, we're gonna get straight into it and start producing our jazz. Oh, I was hoping I would beat that. I didn't beat it to the punch. There we go, advanced electronics, apparently researched. Okay, let's get to work. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna work on is starting up our oil processing. I've gotten the basics for oil processing, pump jacks, an oil refinery, and a chemical plant. There are a few other things we'll need, but those are the main things. The first thing we need to do is start another research, because we finished sulfur processing, and we should move directly, most likely, into fluid handling, actually. I was gonna say batteries, but fluid handling will give us storage tanks that allow us to store some of the materials that we actually make out of this oil processing system, which is important. And we'll go over exactly why that's so important a bit later when we're actually working with the stuff, but we'll get fluid handlings to get those storage tanks. So for oil refining, we have these little spots here, these black spots, that are crude oil. And we have to extract that crude oil using pump jacks, which are these dudes. We just put them over the crude oil, point them in a direction, and it's perfect. That's going to be pumping up oil, and that is great. But now what we have is just a bunch of crude oil, and nobody wants just a bunch of crude oil, so we have to use this guy. This, my friends, is an oil refinery. It is massive, it is ridiculous, and we are going to place one right here to throw tons of oil into. So now we need some pipes, which is fine. I'm going to use as many underground pipes as I can in the course of this process, because these pipes you can't actually walk through, and that becomes a pretty big issue later on. Okay, so this is the basic oil refining process. We take in 10 crude oil, wait 5 seconds, and then we get 3 units of heavy oil, 3 units of light oil, and 4 units of petroleum gas. So we're going to do that. And we can see we take crude oil in through these pipes, and the outputs are put through these. Heavy oil comes out here, light oil comes out here, and petroleum gas comes out of here. And we can't change where the inputs go in or where the outputs go out, which is quite annoying at times, but it's fine. We'll work it out. So what we want to produce right now is sulfuric acid, which is a key component to the production of batteries, which are necessary for both the next level of science pack and, this is way more important, laser turrets. So in order to get sulfuric acid, we need sulfur, water, and iron plates. So we need sulfur, which is created out of water and petroleum gas. You see why this is so important. So we're going to set up a chemical plant. This is the main crafting machine for the different non-solid chemicals, as well as some other chemicals. Sulfur is actually a solid, so when it comes out, it'll be like an iron plate, just an item. But there are other items like lubricant, which are a liquid, similar to how like crude oil or water is, because of course, if you didn't know that crude oil and water are both liquids, you're a bit strange. I don't know how you didn't figure that out yet, but look, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt and say that maybe you were hit on the head, concussed, and now you can't remember what your own name is, so that's probably fine. That is not a good use of an underground pipe. So there we go. We're gonna hook that up with petroleum gas there, and we're going to have a separate offshore pump over here to actually produce the water that goes out and hooks into the sulfur processing. So we'll go here and then just hook it up like that. using, of course, as I said before, as many underground pipes as we can. And underground pipes actually have a decent range, so they go quite a ways, which is so good. The one issue with this system, which is a pretty big issue, is that this won't actually produce very much stuff at all. So how fluids work is... What the heck? Why is everything blowing up? They're all out of ammo! This is bad. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Hey, hey, hey! Get out, get out. Go, 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 go. No, no! Bad day! Bad day! Bad news! Bad news bears! Get out. Go, go, go. Don't you destroy my last turret. I can't even. Oh, no. Oh, no. We're gonna have to fix that. That was pretty bad, actually. That still has ammo, right? We put tons of ammo in there. Okay, let's throw a whole 100 ammo in here, and we need to build some more turrets. I'll get to working on building turrets while I continue to tell you what I was going to tell you before. So, pretty much, these different liquids will be produced only so long as there's a place to actually put them. So each pipe has a certain amount of fluid it can hold. And once that amount is filled up, of course, crazy concept, nothing else can be put in there. So at this point, if we start producing things out of this oil refinery, it's going to produce enough to like fill this tiny little space right here. And then it'll clog the system and it'll stop producing anything at all. So what we need are some storage containers to store the resources that we're making but not actually using yet. And that's why we're getting fluid handling right now. Because without that, we would be in some pretty serious trouble in terms of actually producing anything out of our oil refineries. Oh my word, the destruction here is immense. I can't even. Oh, this is the worst. Well, we're getting the defensive system set back up. It should be even better than it was before, which will be so nice. Because we put in a few extra walls. I think this place could use a few extra turrets, but, you know, I'm just going to ignore it for now and hope for the best. It's not actually going to go very well, though. It's generally ignoring these kinds of things doesn't actually help the situation. Okay, there we go. Get wrecked. Okay. So, fluid handling is very important. We're just going to set up the framework for now until we actually get that fluid handling research so we can, you know, legit build something. It's also to be noted that unlike conveyor belts, pipes don't have a direction. They also hook up to any pipe near them regardless of what it's actually supposed to be moving, which is the worst. So we will have to use some underground pipes because no pipes will ever hook up to underground pipes. So if you're running two pipelines really close to each other like this, where previously it would connect to that normal pipe and fill the entire thing with water, now that we do an underground pipe, it doesn't actually connect up to this other one, which is a nice little trick that you can use on occasion. So now we've got water and petroleum, and we'll need to take this sulfur out of here because the sulfur is, as I said, just a normal product. And we'll run it along a transport belt in a little loop because I love loops so much. They're so good. Probably out to there and then back around. And that's our sulfur loop. And then what we want to do is take that sulfur and turn it into sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid requires sulfur, iron plates, and water made in a chemical plant. So we're going to need another one of these chemical plants, which is 5 steel, 5 iron gears, and 5 electronic circuits. Ooh. You could probably actually just pick that all up off the lines. Very nice. And we'll hook it up right on this other side here. We will need a bit of water, right? So we'll have to see where that water pipe needs to be hooked up. But if we put it right there, it should be simple as simple as that. So we do sulfuric acid. We can hook it up on either set, which is nice. We'll expand this just a bit because Pickers have a bit of an issue when trying to pick things off of curved transport belts, especially if they're on the inside of the curve. A normal picker won't be able to actually pick up one single item moving along there. So always having your inserters pick off of a straight belt ensures that they won't ever get confused by having, like, not enough, by not knowing how to actually pick up stuff because they're too slow and disgusting and dumb because they're inserters. They aren't actually very smart. They're not sentient. It's just an inserter, guys. Don't worry about it. You can beat an inserter as much as you want to. That got really dark really quickly. Maybe we should try to not get that dark so quickly next time. I think if we, like, ease into, like, the darkness, that's probably a bit better. Anyway, there we go. We've now got that hooked up to water as well. And that pump should supply enough water to work both of these. It has in the past anyway. And we need to bring a bit of iron out to there as well. So let's get a picker, grabbing stuff there, sending it all the way out to the sulfuric acid, which is great. It's always nice to send things out to the sulfuric acid. One of my favorite things to do. So we're going to send it up here. And we'll just have it run along here, and that'll be perfect. Fluid handling is almost done, which is great. We'll be able to get a couple storage containers and actually have the possibility of getting this system up and running, which is a new concept because this system has not been up and running so far, in case you didn't notice. And if you didn't notice, that's kind of weird because you should probably have noticed that. Okay, there's fluid handling. And we're going to move next into, not engines, batteries. Batteries should give us almost everything we need. Yeah, we'll just need a bit more after batteries to get the laser turrets research, but we will have to set up a battery production line, which it's not quite done here yet. So let's get a few more poles and start actually hooking this up to electricity. Well, actually, first we need to get our storage tanks. So we'll need 2 storage tanks, one for light oil, one for heavy oil. Later on, we will have uses for this stuff. For the most part, these products aren't actually all that useful. Heavy oil can be used to make lubricants, which is actually a pretty useful product. But the light oil is... I don't actually know that there is a use for it. Not that I remember anyway, which means it wasn't important regardless. What we're mainly going to do with this is crack it and turn it into petroleum gas that we use to produce other things. But for now, we don't actually have the technology to be able to do that. We need some more research before we can start cracking our oils. So let's just get this hooked up to electricity. And there we go. We are going to start producing a bunch of sulfuric acid, which we need to actually put into a storage tank for now. And we'll work on the last part of this system. Actually, we should probably move this storage tank a bit. It is worth noting that if you destroy a storage tank, you do not save the liquids inside. So all of this liquid, if we were to break the tank right now, would be completely gone, and there would be no way to get any more of it, which is not the best. Oh, wait, that picker's not actually powered. That's why nothing's happening. There we go. Okay. So, let's see. The next thing we want is actual batteries, which I think we can see what they're made out of here. It's iron, copper, and sulfuric acid. So we have almost everything that we need right here. We preferably don't want to build the system down this way because there's a lot of good oil fields down here for furthering our production of oil. So we're going to build it up over here. Batteries are built in one of the assembly machines, I think. Let me make sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are. I'm pretty sure they're made in an assembly machine. So that shouldn't be too hard, actually. That should be pretty easy. Let's get enough resources to actually build an assembly machine and then start thinking about this copper line. So we need to bring a copper line all the way up here. I think we can actually do that pretty easily. if we send the copper up this way, like right parallel with this coal line, I don't think it should mess with too much stuff, which is nice. I like things not messing with other things. It's maybe the best. Okay, so we're gonna have it start here. Break the cardinal rule I just put out. Oh wait, that's not actually gonna work. Those poles are slightly in the way, which is not ideal. How can we do this? Okay, we can do it this way. Let's... Okay, we can't do it that way. Oh, ooh, we can. Okay. We're gonna do it like this. This thing's going to pick here and put the stuff into an underground belt that goes that way. And now the system is going to work nicely. You gotta love jury rigging systems. It's just the best. So this is gonna pull tons of copper out to this production line, which is pretty key. And actually, we could have the copper just move onto this line, which would be nice. Probably not get in as much of the way of the coal or the oil production at that point. How can we actually do that? We need a good place to actually set our underground conveyor belt that we're going to need in order to get over there. Okay, we can do it this way. Watch this. We're gonna lose a bit of oil in the process. We can maybe fix it later if we do need that oil, but we'll have it go from here all the way out over to there. Of course, the biters destroyed one of our underground belts, so now we have an odd number of underground belts, which is pretty much one of the worst things I can think of. It's like an itch you can never scratch. You always have one extra underground transport belt. There's no way to fix that situation. It's so bad. So we're just gonna have it move parallel to everything here, up onto this line. So we've got iron on one side, copper on the other. And then our automated construction plant will go right here. Boom. Very nice. Very nice. So we'll have to wait until we actually get the battery research to set that up, because these assembly plants, when you have to produce something that requires liquids, will have a single pipe that you can input that liquid into. And I don't know where it's going to show up until the battery thing shows up. I know it's in the middle, so I guess we can, in fact, put this here and then just wait. Well, actually, that should really be a fast inserter, because a fast inserter is going to be able to pick both the copper and the iron at a reasonable rate. Okay, there we go. So, as you can see, we've got our oil. We're getting a decent amount of light and heavy oil, and all of the petroleum gas is being put into the production of sulfur. Our sulfuric acid is actually building up pretty quickly. That's quite nice, and should build up infinitely, which is so nice. And we've got a huge excess in power right now, which is great. So we're just gonna wait it out until we actually get that battery research. And in the meantime, I might work on shoring up our defenses just a bit more, because they might be a bit lacking. So I'll see you when the actual battery research is completed. Okay, so here's battery research, all done and over with. Now, to get to the laser turrets, we're going to need to get lasers, which is going to require advanced electronics. So we'll just start researching advanced electronics. I did double the production of the green science packs because we're fairly low on them. I noticed that research was going pretty slowly. So, now that we've got that, we can actually start working out the finished products of batteries. Okay, no, that's actually made in a chemical plant. That's the worst. Don't produce chemical plants. Don't you dare. That's ridiculous. I need to go get enough steel to create a chemical plant. I was wrong, people, okay? I was wrong. I didn't know. Don't burn me at the stake. Unless you really want to burn me at the stake, whereas then I guess that's fine. I mean, it is kind of cold, so Go for it. Go for it. You can burn me at the stake. I'm a willing subject. It's not the end of the world. Well, I guess for me it is the end of the world, but for you it's probably just the beginning. The beginning of a glorious new world. Ho ho ho. Okay. Here we go. And that should produce batteries. So we'll input the sulfuric acid with a little underground pipe and a few other pipes, because I can't be asked to just use pipes. Ugh, it's so bad. Trying to move around a system of just full pipes is really terrible. And then, crazy concept, we should have ourselves some actual batteries. Oh yeah, battery time. Woo! Okay. So what do we need for laser turrets after that? Let's see. So we can go here, we can check what we need. Electronic circuits, batteries, steel plates. Okay, that's not hard. So let's start setting up the system to bring all that stuff over here. Well, actually, it's been a long episode as is. Well, not a long episode, a normal-sized episode as is. And we did get a lot done. We got batteries being produced, which is quite nice. So that will bring us for now to the end of the episode. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe. Next time, we'll start working on the production line for laser turrets and continue working our way up to that research. It'll probably be built somewhere around here. And once we get laser turrets, we'll start thinking more solidly on a less, like, cobbled together defense. Usually I completely wall off my production area, but usually I also have like half of my wall be just the edge of a lake. Given that we're in the middle of a desert and don't have that much water around, we're gonna have to figure out a different way to deal with it. But that'll be a couple episodes down the road. So until then, thanks for watching, and of course, enjoy the rest of your day.